For this MetaPilot Academy masterclass. I am the founder of MetaPilot Academy, and I'm here with Ilem, one of the students in our MBA program, and I'm going to briefly take you through the new course that has a stronger focus on aerospace and defense. Guilhem is in the general MBA, but he will also have, and he has a strong focus on aerospace as a systems engineer. And I will also present a shorter program that we have around eVTOL, flying cars, the AM, drones, vertiports, things like that. And then Guilhem is actually going to present his current project within the program. And then we're going to go into some questions about all this. So let me try and share my screen just to give you an overview of the Academy. Guilhem, can you confirm that you can see my screen in the recording?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Brilliant. So, very brief overview of the Academy. It's a combination of a technical accreditation, a flight school, an MBA, career coach, and a business incubator. The idea is to train the future generation of tech leaders in mobility, in aerospace, defense, and Industry 4.0, among which Guilhem is hopefully. And the general idea is many of the courses in the master classes are usually taught by industry leaders, so people that are currently employed with one of these major companies, with relevant governments, with growing startups and scale-ups in the field. So we already have people from Boeing, from Stellantis, US Air Force, Oracle, and so on. The idea behind all of this is the huge investment in defense. As you can see, there are many things happening in the world right now, but there is also historically, defense investment has led to quite a few technological breakthroughs, like the radio and the GPS. And now we're looking at 4 trillion going into AI and defense by 2030. And also the fact that many technical jobs are being replaced now with agentic AI and layers of agentic AI. It is much easier for companies to optimize their operations across different verticals without, having to deal with having so many humans in the loop. So we expect, the reason why this is called MetaPilot is because we expect people not just to survive the AI transition, I would call it. It's not an AI age, it's an AI transition. But also to orchestrate it, right? So for each industry, we discuss what it means to have different types of AI agents, how to stack them in your operations, what kind of training data you're using. And since all of this is almost no code or low code, this can lead to new career paths that didn't exist before. So we estimate around 2 million new careers that will open across these fields to begin with, aerospace and mobility, and probably robotics and other fields that we haven't even thought about yet, like space. And we are working with these companies to try to understand what those career paths are and to try to find the people that are going to occupy them. So the market, just talking about aerospace and defense now, we expect, there will still be pilots for sure, just not only plane pilots, also drones, eVTOLs. There will be more teleoperation from the ground because if we have, for example, eVTOLs, it will make sense to have, people flying them manually in the air. We will bring them at least at level 4 autonomy. And then there's going to be a lot of data, right? All that AI and all that teleoperation is going to lead to huge amounts of data that can be used by governments, by corporations, by AI pilots, things like that. So for the curriculum, we work with different companies. The people in our board, they come in and they directly influence the curriculum, and we're working on that as a new concept in education. So for example, if Thales says we need more machine learning for airspace control, just because, in airports, we're going to have like planes and drones and all that, how do we make them not bump into each other? Then we bring more of that. We have those people, changing the curriculum based on what these companies are actually looking for. And this is great for the companies because they recruit people that have exactly the knowledge that they need. And it's good for the people in the program because they have skills that companies actually need, or the industry. Bit about the leadership. So aerospace, we have Damon from Boeing, Mobility, Maria from Stellantis. both in leading positions. Gabe in defense, working on wargaming operations, but also more recently on education. Frederick, spatial computing. He's actually been running some of the first governmental investment programs in the US related to neurotechnology and human cognition. So a lot of the professors and mentors are usually working with a big OEM, but also with universities. And in total, we have 50,000 of these people. So the way the program works is the algorithm decides as our students, like Guilhem, are delivering within the program, and you'll see we believe that he's doing well. The algorithm will start to figure out what their niche is and start to connect them with the people that make sense for them to meet at this point in order to build a product or get funded or whatever that is. So core team, there's myself. I'm a neuroscience professor here in Barcelona, Spain. We have admissions in Barcelona. There's two types of programs. One is more academic, the type that Guilhem is in, and one is executive for people that are in companies. One thing about today is that there will be a demo day in which our students, including Guilhem, are going to present something like a pitch deck, but this will be, the result of a lot of work on their end, also working with the mentors, working with our board, and something that we're very excited about because, hopefully some of these ideas come to fruition and we have slightly better future in these industries, aerospace, space, etc. We have graduation option at Schönbrunn Palace in Vienna, which is the second largest in Europe after Versailles. And then there are these AI agent micro-credentials. I'm only going to talk today about the last one, which is the AAM certification program. So basically here people learn a lot about drones, flying cars, vertiports. They will have our software at their disposal where they'll be able to create simulations. They can take whichever city, let's say LA, and then place vertiports there. They'll be able to fly different models of flying cars from our partners, and they'll be able to generate synthetic data and hopefully hand that full project and present it. So that's one program. This one is 4 months online. And it's something where we mix different verticals because we can see the flying car field growing, but it's also important for people when they decide on their career paths to not put, let's say, all of their eggs in one basket, right? It's important to have transferable skills in case, this becomes the next blockchain. So I am certain that within aerospace, this entire niche is going to work out somehow. The exact structure is something we'll figure out. So a bit about the curriculum. It's going to be aerospace, mobility, defense, space, eVTOL, digital twins, law and entrepreneurship. And of course, the MBS has this strong financial backbone, which we'll be presenting. Some of the deliverables. So one we will see today from the pitch deck presentation. This will be longer, some of the partners, admission process. And here again, we work with corporations to better understand what kind of human talent they need, what human talent they need to retrain, and how they are optimizing recruitment for themselves. We have watched this year quite a few companies laying off thousands and thousands of people that are very talented, literally from one day to another, right? We've seen Microsoft lay 15,000 off, Accenture, I believe 8,000, and so on and so forth, Amazon, right? So we believe that there is a way to do this internally. We have also seen corporations do a very good job at upskilling and reskilling people within their own company, and therefore retain the talent and the knowledge and the training that they already invested in these people, and then move them laterally within the company. So this is also something that we're trying to do. So that pretty much sums it up. Do you have any thoughts or questions, Guilhem, about the program as a whole so far, or just the process of you like making a pitch deck so quickly? I think this must be like your first month, right, or second? I think you might be muted.
Okay, you
There you are. Perfect.
perfect. All right. Yeah. Thank you for this opportunity for talking here. Yes, this is my first month on the program. The first two delivery track was a really good exercise to perform. I think that the proposal of the program is really good. The world need this kind of initiatives for for our for the next engineers and generation. Um, but yes, I don't think I have a specific question. I think that the program is doing great. I'm in the first month, so maybe I will have more outputs to share on the following months.
Super. Alrighty. In that case, I'm just going to very briefly showcase the emerging program on eVTOL and what we're thinking of creating specifically for aerospace and defense. Just because, if you look at the core of the investments worldwide in the US and in general, the 4 trillion are mainly going into aerospace and defense. And we can see also on the European side that let's say that the push for dual use technologies is very strong. And I think that technical skills and a very strong business plan are encouraged at this point, let's say. So for that reason, we have started building this program with some of the people involved. Just trying to find it. So I'm going to share my screen in a second. There we go. So I actually want to take you through the content so you get an idea of like what this stuff is about. And maybe for you, Guilherme, you see there's a lot of similarity with the main MBA program that you're in, but this is like a shorter one. So the idea is, to just have an overview and to make what we call the career progression template, which is something that for yourself, often this is done in therapy. You have to promise some things to yourself and you have to hold yourself accountable for those things. So what is the kind of person I want to be in 40 years, regardless of what happens in the world? What is my dream career? And then to kind of work backwards from there to, 5 years, 1 year, what do I need to do next month to get there? And one thing I really love to do for holding myself accountable is to create like a KPI chart, so key performance indicators, and ask myself, what are the things I want to track for myself? And is it the number of calls in my case, or, the number of new programs, the number of people enrolled, the number of people in the board? And then I just add that to the extent that things can be quantified. So again, like this self-accountability thing is really important to us. Here, learning the basics of advanced air mobility, learning also a little bit about AI, and also learning about smart cities, how to integrate vertiports into smart cities. Security and resilience and cybersecurity is going to be absolutely vital with eVTOL for obvious reasons. The use of AI, we've seen quite a few companies, including Stellantis, having a very strong focus on AI when it comes to mobility, just because we expect that mobility in the future will be very much about integrated smart cities and less about driving something, on its own, disconnected from the network. And then, just going into that stuff a bit more. But yeah, I will stop here not to give away too much from the program. And I just, at this point, Guilherme, if you want to briefly go through the pitch deck, let me know if you want us to ask questions or interrupt, or if you'd rather that, we let you do your thing with your pitch deck and you can take it from there. But yeah, again, muted.
Sorry.
Hmm?
All right. I will share my screen with to present
Yeah.
the pitch deck proposal. Let's see. Okay. And here, sharing. All right. You see my screen?
Yeah.
All right.
Once. Oops. There we go. And I can also disappear, I think. Yeah, but we can definitely see your screen now. It looks very nice.
Okay. Okay. All set?
All set.
Okay. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm Guilherme, Guilherme Jaime. You can call me Jaime. Jaime is my second name, which is more easier for non-Portuguese speakers to pronounce. So, today I'm pitching an AI copilot for model-based systems engineering in airspace. So it will be an AI-powered platform to streamline and enhance MBSC, right? So for in short terms, my idea is to help aerospace and defense engineering teams to move faster from requirements to validate design decisions and with a more focus on traceability and less manual work. So for now, the agenda, what we will cover here, I will talk about the purpose, the problem, what, what is the solution, uh, why do we need to the solution now? The market size, product bustiness, model, team, financial milestones, and etc. So the purpose. The purpose is to present, as I already mentioned, a New York powered MC solution focused on airspace. So our key capabilities include natural language process for requirements person, um, design recommendations, simulation support, fine tuning, user-friendly dashboards, safety and cybersecurity considerations as well. So our target markets will be the airspace and defense space firms, tier one suppliers and operators within house engineering teams. Uh, and we plan to start with paid pilots with Prime and Defense Space Labs supported by partnerships for MBCA and NAI integration. And we are seeking something like 2.5 billions for a funding for 18 to 24 months of full to fuel the product development and market expansion. It's just an idea. It's just an example of the the purpose of this big deck. So what's the problem, right? So systems engineering teams or MBSC teams face our made pain points, right? So requirements interface are often parsed manually. So we have some tools to help us do it, but they are often parsed manually, and they are really time consuming and it's likely to error prone and risky. So, and the second is heavy simulations and organizational data silos, low exploration and analysis. This leads to overruns and delays. Weak traceability and first question drive late rework, and that's a problem. And create exposure during certification, this is a problem as well. So, and finally, there's a real embassy talent shortage. So with tribunology trapped in legacy programs. So together, uh, diseases create high costs, lower cycles, and higher program risk. So our solution here is to uh, built an AI defense airspace co-pilot, uh, and it's built around 5 pillars. So the AI strikes requirements, dependency gaps, and traceability from large volumes of tests, and system architecture or a design recommender suggesting architectures and trade-offs based on factors like weight goals, reliability, and maintainability. A simulation component can accelerate setup by pre-filtering load case parameters and likely test scenarios, etc. And integrations now. So we want to connect it to SizeML V2 to be ready for the system as code initiative. Um, Integrate with Simulink and or Modelica, I don't know, maybe in situ REST APIs for sensors and test data. Uh, it's something like this. So, and why now, right? So the timing is right for 6 reasons. So we have the foundation models and cheaper compute make industrial AI viable. Digital engineering mandates from organizations like DoD and NASA, for example. So they are accelerating the adoption. SysML V2 is gaining momentum. Is gaining momentum. So SysML V2 would be the next generation of modeling language. Simulation and sensor data are exploding as well. Programmers are under pressure for shorter cycles of development and lower capex. And the MBC talent gap is forcing the teams to find forces multipliers. So for the market size, I didn't went too deeper in this topic because it will have to be more well constructed. So our target buyers are aerospace and defense ones, space companies, suppliers, the for global digital engineering, BCTOs, and aerospace and defense. In 3 years, our initial SOM is 10 to 15 enterprise contracts. Maybe it's just an idea. It's not well. It's not um, accurate. So, so the project. So uh, for the first 12 months, the MVP is a requirements dependence parser plus a risk and traceability dashboard. So it will be validated through yearly pilots and senior systems engineers. So we have to prove the accuracy, the time saved, and the compliance value of the tool. For the first 2 years, we add a design recommender. So I have an idea here to use agents like Codex, for example, and use Tom Sawyer's viewers for SysML build, for example. And my idea is to input information to the AI agent and see the change in real time on the architecture tool. It's something that I'm exploring, and I have a lot of work to do. Um, and well, I will support connectors through Simulink and Modelic, for example. The business model is an enterprise SaaS, and so per programmer site with annual per seat and usage based. We also have the onboarding and integration service worth about 10 to 20 of contract value and premium tiers for secure and rapid deployments, for example. Our go-to-market starts with paid pilots, with prime contractors and the phase-based labs converting to multi-year enterprise contracts. Pipeline's goals are 3 paid pilots in a year and more than 8 contracts, and in 3 of the enterprise by the end of 2 years, for example. So the team, well, the idea is to myself. I lead the project and research as the founder. So with a background, I have a background in MBSC, my undergrad and my graduate is in aerospace. I have experience in safety and now I'm specializing in artificial intelligence applied to aerospace and safety. So the key hires include a lead, modeling language engineer focused on AI, recommenders, designers, and simulations engineer, DevOps, security, and business development for government defense. The advisory board focuses on certification expertise, so FAA, DoD, enterprise engineering sales, and etc. For financials and milestones, we are asking for approximately, I have mentioned it before, about 2.5 billion, for example, to and seed to fund for 18 to 24 months of product development. So thank you. This is my second deliverable of the program. It was a really good exercise. So it made me think how practically how can I start a startup, for example. So thank you, Diana, for this. It's really helped me to think about it. And it's a pleasure to meet you guys, and it's a pleasure to talk to you all here.
Fantastic, Guillaume. I think you did really well with presenting this, and indeed not bad for the first month. I
Back
do
to you,
think
Diana.
your technical background and interest in AI applied to aerospace safety helps, right? Because you're discussing things that you're obviously an expert on. So what we will do is we will keep this recording and it will initially be shared with some members of the board. And then we're going to gather some feedback on it. And most importantly, at this point, because you're in the first month, this is less about right or wrong, but it's more about like development points and what we can do next to make this happen. Would it be possible for you to pull up the slides again, just so that we can kind of open the conversation? I mean, if anyone wants to add questions, we will see them, but most likely you're going to see them post presentation, so after this closes. Yeah, do you think, would you mind if you could like try to open the slides again and then we can have another look? There's a lot of information. Yeah, here, just
Connection
fine.
slots for me here. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Sorry, connection lost here.
No worries, no
I
worries. I was
missed
just
the
wondering if you can pull up the
past
slides
15
again,
seconds.
just for us to another look.
No, no, it's connected. I'm sorry, Diana, I missed the past 20 seconds because the connection lost here.
No worries at all. Just the slides. Do you think you can pull up the slides again?
Put up the slide.
Yeah, just so we can have a quick look through them. Yeah, okay. Perfect. I can see them now. Super cool. So we can kind of go through it line by line, and then like if people have questions, they'll be able to access the recording. So the model-based system engineering. So can you, like, in one sentence or two sentences, explain what this platform does? Just for imagine, because at some point you'll be speaking to generalist investors, and they will know absolutely nothing about aerospace. So explain it to me like I don't know anything about the field. In two sentences. Can you do that? You're muted again. Sorry, muted.
Here?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Let me return. So, this will be more like a local software tool connected with LLM or LMP. And this and it's a the objective here is to help aerospace systems engineers, mechanical engineers, or however, to do manual workflows that is time consuming. For example, if you want to um, translate stakeholder requirements into system requirements, the tool will be able to capture the stakeholders' requirements. We'll be able to understand the context of the system that will be developed, and then it will be translated to system requirements. This is for my experience, this is a task that is time consuming because you have to translate it, and there's a lot of process that you have to perform to make a good system requirements. So the AI will do it for you, and then you will maybe you will correct the output of the software, right? So you have the system, you have the system requirement, then you have to take a look and evaluate if the requirements make sense and it's reliable and it's objective and everything. So this is for requirements engineering. And then you also have, for example, well, looking for safety. That's a thing that I'm working now. Well, I have this system safety requirements here, and I have to link the requirements to ISO. I don't know, maybe 15 to 88 ISO. I don't know. So which ISOs can be linked to this requirement? So the AI will be able to understand the context of the ISOs, just the certification process, etc., and link the system requirements, for example. So this is some ideas that that I do have here. Let me see. Okay, so we also have connectors, for example. So for a size SysML architecture development, for example. So you have the context of your system that the AI uh, get from the documents you input to them, and then you have the SysML that you're ready for models. So maybe the AI can gather information from the documents and start drafting some kind of architecture. I don't know, maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's another idea that I'm also exploring, which is really, really good. So
Mm.
there's a lot of things I will need a dedicated presentation for this, because I have to put my ideas in order. So the, I don't know, the, the idea was, oh, sorry, connection.
No, it's fine. Um,
Can you hear me?
yeah, I hear it just fine.
All right, all right. So let me
It's
start.
just a matter of
This
like,
is the
yeah. Mm.
this is the idea that I'm proposing to work on the truth program.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. This is really great. I mean, I feel like on the technical side, you definitely have a very clear idea of what the architecture and the stack is going to be, which is really
Hmm.
great.
Hmm.
I think you have a really good idea of the applicability of this, which is, sorry, you were sharing the screen. I just didn't have it. I think you have a really good idea of the market need. And I would say, since you're in month one, this is, I would say, don't change anything about the current pitch deck. Try to have one slide, which is often the hardest thing. It's really the prototyping of the UX of the platform. So you take one slide, and that will help people understand, what do I do with this thing? Who am
Hmm.
I as the user, right? Who is the user? What they're doing with the platform and what it does. And I'm assuming it's going to extract some documents from some pipelines and kind of adapt to everything. And then try to look at your competitors. The reason for that is, we have seen with many large OEMs. Now, imagine you worked at, let's say, Thales, right? A large aerospace company, and you wanted to implement this. You would probably want to safeguard the company data and do it
Hmm.
internally.
Yes, yes.
So you have to have a very good argument for them to use your thing. Ultimately, a product like this that is B2B should be either tested with startups or smaller companies that don't have like thousands of engineers that can do this internally. And then if you get a lot of traction with it, you can eventually get it to be bought or acquired by a larger OEM, right? That's kind of how I'm just thinking from the perspective of an investor. They want to
Hmm.
see returns within 10 years maximum, right? So best return is an IPO or an acquisition, right? An acquisition would be great for them because they get their money back and probably a return. So those investors that initially invest 2.5 million will probably ask you, who's going to buy this? How do you get to that point, right? And
Right.
a bit like us, we also work with startups in the VTOL field initially. Even we did like free trials. So that's like one way to, yeah.
I agree.
Mm.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, so
And
that.
you said
Mhm.
something interesting because I'm imagining that this AI powered software will have to run locally without access to internet for data protection. It's a thing
Mhm.
that I also.
Actually, this can have applications in defense. There are technologies also that disconnect the entire system from the internet, which is, I think, very interesting. It's called True Gap, Air Gap technology, or something like that. Um, but yeah, I think you have a very good intuition there. I love that it's based on actual knowledge of aerospace. Not all the founders are very familiar with the industry and the inner workings, especially on the engineering side. So I would just like start work, even though this is not in the program, I would start working on a UI UX. It's very
Hmm.
possible that, if you keep up the pace, by the end of this, you have something that looks quite fundable.
Maybe use tools like Figma, for example.
Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah, and just when you look at the competitors, you'll get an idea of who the investors are as well as who the potential clients are, right? So you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Mm. That's a great question because I know that are some startups and companies that are really doing this kind of stuff,
Hmm.
but it's really niche. So uh, it's doing only for requirements engineer, for example. My idea is to have a platform to integrate all the steps of model systems engineering. So I have to do a deeper research on that.
Yeah, yeah. You can use some AI tools for it if they are effective at locating your competitors and try to make what I like to do is like a competitor table is like ABCD, you know, who are my closest competitors and what they have and what I don't have very realistically. And you'll find that first of all, you definitely have competitors, and having competitors is a good thing. It means that you are not the only person going at this problem, which would be like a huge red
Hmm.
flag for people, you know. So the fact that you have competitors is a good thing, and it helps you not reinvent the wheel. It helps you, you know, find out who were their initial investors and who were their first clients, so that you don't have to go from zero to one all by yourself.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I agree with you.
Let me think what else. One thing that we tried in the beginning when we built our own Meta Pilot platform is to reach out to people that we believe would be the perfect user. And then we just asked, would you like to beta test this for free? And in return, we'll give you whatever, you know, because then you can have that kind of review on your product. Like someone from Airbus or Boeing has tested this and they noticed this or that. This is huge. It's like, ultimately you want to get something like a letter of intent if you ever work with a startup and they say, you know, if this were free or if this were funded by someone else, we would implement it, and then you can estimate the size of that project. That's a very, very powerful thing to have an LOI. But these are all next steps from here.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you will get within the program is going to open new modules, and some of them will be very AI related and also about implementation and the marketing side and the B2B sales side. So, yeah, I think we will look at. Would you say that this is about optimizing operations or is it about safety within aerospace?
it can be both.
Okay.
It can help for optimizing the process, and it can be used for to increase safety analysis.
Safety analysis. Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So in a way, it has like a double use. Yeah, it might be good to own down on the very specific niche. You'll see with your competitors when you look at what they did, what their first like pilot projects were, you know, and like that very specific thing with that specific company is gonna give you an idea of
Hmm.
why this helps. But again, I think you're onto something here, and I very much look forward to seeing this grow. We're gonna keep the recording. We're gonna have a look, and we will start thinking who it might make sense for you to meet at this early stage to start working on this.
All right. I'll stop sharing my screen. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Of course. All right. So unless there are any burning questions, I think it's okay to wrap this up. And unless you had some final questions or comments, Guilherme, about the program, you know, the pitch deck, the next steps, and your deliverables, like the actual business proposal, the thesis, everything that's gonna come. Do you have any questions on that or any thoughts?
No, we are good for now. Probably I'll have questions when I start working on the
This is
next
very
step.
much the philosophy, I have to say. You see, the amazing thing is that you wrote this pitch deck and you presented it a very, you know, in a very relaxed way within the first month. Now we have a lot of data from you, and we can use that data to improve things for you, right? And this is really the thing. You just it's like going into the water. Well, being from Brazil, I guess you understand, like when you want to like go bathe in the ocean, you just go full speed, like you run, you know, you don't like, oh, what happens if I step into the water? You just go, you know,
Yeah. I,
full speed.
or,
Super. Well, thank you
I'm
so
excited
much for
for it.
today. Thank you, Guilherme. It was a pleasure. Great to see your pitch deck, and we will be following up. Thank
Okay.
you. Ciao.
Thank you.
Bye. 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 Have a nice Christmas. Happy holidays. Bye.
Happy holidays. Bye.